Hey gents, this is Mr. Holding. This quick video is just to have a look at polygons and how to work out the areas. So I've just got a couple of examples here of odd shapes. Probably the majority of the one are going to be very similar to this, but this one's not uncommon either. All right, and basically surveyors are often asked to work out the areas or perimeters of certain odd shapes, and the way they do that is generally by looking at trying to make them into fairly easy things like squares or triangles, most of which are probably triangles. So looking at the first one's probably fairly easy. Now, there are two ways you do it. You could actually, in theory, put the dotted line down there, a bit faint, but I don't really want to do it, and you can do a rectangle and a square. Okay, so 10 by this distance, 10 by 6, and then work out that you've got a side here and a side here. This side here is 10. This side here is 12 take 6, which is 6. So obviously out of scale a little bit, and then you can go height by base divided by 2. Add them together, and you're going to get a value. In this particular case, we can actually turn around and go area equals the sum of the sides, so divided by 2 multiplied by length or width, whatever you call it. And so when I say sides, I mean these two. Okay, so if we go 6 plus 12 over 2 multiplied by the length, which is 10, so we end up with 18 over 2, which is 9 times 10 equals 90 meters squared. Okay, so that particular, the whole shape is 90 meters squared. Now, we could do it by going 6 by 10 is 60 for the square, 10 by 6 divided by 2 is 30, 60 plus 30 is 90. Alright, this way is obviously a little bit simpler. Okay, now when we come over here, we've got this odd shape that we were able to break down into 3 triangles. Okay, so I didn't put any values on them because ultimately, when we look at this, it depends on what information we were given. All right, if we're given, all the measurements here, we might go ahead and use Heron's formula and go, square root of s multiply s minus a multiply by s minus b multiply s minus c. If we're given angles here, we could use the sine ratio to do each triangle. Okay, do 9 degrees, that's perpendicular, work out the heights and do it that way. Or we could even go to the extent of using Pythagoras' theorem if we had the right things there. So ultimately, what we want to do is we want to assign triangles A, B, and C and find out the area of A, area A, area B, area C, using whatever method that we've actually got, and then obviously add total equals A plus B C is whatever it is. Okay, so I won't go through an example with that because if you go look at the other videos on how to do Pythagoras and how to use Pythagoras to determine the perpendicular height, how to use the sine ratio, the simplified sine ratio, so it might save you a step, or using Heron, you can use those things here to calculate the individual areas for these 3 triangles. Once you've done that, you add them together, and then that's your total. Okay, so polygons, it's about breaking down into simpler shapes and then going from there. Okay, multiple steps, but the mathematics is no different. All right, well, hopefully you found this helpful. If you have any questions, please come and ask me.